He slammed his fist on the table so hard that every glass jumped. "Get me someone competent," he barked, his voice sharp enough to cut through the entire restaurant. Every head turned. Every whisper stopped. And right there, under those golden chandeliers, a black waitress stood frozen, holding a menu like a shield, while the richest man in the room tried to shred her dignity in public. If this already made your blood boil, hit like and subscribe right now, because stories like this are still happening and the world needs to hear them. Keisha inhaled slowly, steadying her voice. "Good evening, sir. I'm just trying to what?" The billionaire snapped, finally looking up with cold blue eyes. "Waste my time? You people can never follow simple instructions." The room stiffened. A couple paused mid-bite. Someone gasped softly. Keisha held her tone, calm but tight. She'd dealt with rude customers before, but this wasn't rudeness. This was something deeper, ugly, familiar, the kind she'd learned to recognize long before she wore an apron. "Sir, I only asked if you prefer the wine chilled, or are you deaf?" he said louder. "Bring it now. Immediately. God. Do they hire anyone off the street these days?" Every year, standard dropped lower. Keisha swallowed the sting, refusing to let him see her break. She turned to fetch the bottle, her spine straight, her hands trembling, the entire restaurant watching. And the humiliation had only just begun. Keisha walked toward the service counter, each step heavier than the last. She'd worked double shifts, handled drunks, survived busy holiday nights, but nothing prepared her for a man who looked at her like she wasn't even human. She set the wine order down, breathing through the tightness in her chest. Andre, the sommelier, glanced at her face. "You okay?" "I'm fine," she whispered, though her voice trembled. When she returned to the billionaire's table, he didn't even give her a second to speak. "Took you long enough," he muttered, loud enough for the nearby tables to hear. "I swear, every year they lower the bar just to fill quotas." A couple by the window shifted uncomfortably. A woman shook her head, but no one said a word. No one ever did. Keisha placed the water glass down with steady hands, but her heart pounded. His eyes tracked her like she was a problem he needed to eliminate. "You people always have excuses," he said again, leaning back in his plush chair. "No work ethic, no skill, just attitude." Her jaw tightened. She wanted to defend herself. She wanted to scream. Instead, she stood silently, letting the storm pass over her, refusing to let him see her crumble. But inside, the damage was already spreading. Keisha returned with a wine list, but before she could speak, he raised his hand sharply, like stopping a servant. "Don't bother," he snapped. "I've already decided. You're done here." Her breath caught. "Sir, what?" "I want you fired," he declared loudly, ensuring the room heard every word. "Right now, I won't be served by someone who can't even follow basic instructions. Call your manager, or should I do it myself?" Keisha stood still, the noise in the restaurant fading into a dull hum. This wasn't about wine. This wasn't about service. This was about power, and he enjoyed every second of it. Her manager, Gerald, rushed over, face pale. "Sir, is there a problem?" "A problem?" The billionaire scoffed. "Your waitress is incompetent, slow, disrespectful. And frankly, I'm tired of these diversity hires ruining premium establishments." A chair scraped in the distance. Someone whispered, "Did he just say that?" Keisha's eyes stung, but she refused to blink. "Sir," she said quietly, "I've been nothing but professional." "Professional?" He laughed bitterly. "You're lucky to be working here at all. And if you think I won't make a few calls and end your career in this city, think again." His assistant smirked behind him, enjoying the spectacle. Something inside Keisha finally snapped. Her voice came out steady, but steel threaded through it. "I'm not afraid of you." Gasps rippled across the room. For the first time, he stopped smiling. Keisha stepped back, heart racing, trying to control the tremor in her hands. She turned away from the table, but the moment she did, a passing server bumped her shoulder. The tray in her grip tilted, glasses clattered, and one tumbled across the floor. She knelt quickly, gathering the pieces before anyone else reacted. That's when she noticed it. Something small, something leather, lying near her knee, the billionaire's wallet. It must have slipped from his jacket during the chaos. She picked it up carefully, intending to return it immediately, but as she lifted it, a folded photograph slid out and drifted onto the marble floor. She reached for it. One look, and everything stopped. The breath left her chest. Her fingers tightened. Her eyes didn't blink. In the picture, a black woman stood beside the very same billionaire, much younger, smiling brightly, holding his arm like someone who once belonged in his world, someone he cared about, someone he shouldn't have forgotten. Keisha stared at the woman's face, a face full of warmth and truth, so painfully different from the man who had just humiliated her minutes ago. I shouldn't be seeing this, she whispered under her breath, torn between shock and disbelief. But she couldn't unsee it. She couldn't unfeel the weight of it. A secret, a story he never wanted revealed. A truth powerful enough to crack the arrogance he hid behind. And she held it in her hands. Keisha stood up slowly, the wallet in one hand and the photograph in the other. Her pulse hammered in her ears. She didn't walk back to his table right away. She needed one breath, then another, to steady herself. When she finally approached, the billionaire looked annoyed. "Took you long enough," he muttered. "Did you manage to hold on to something this time? Or—" She placed the wallet down gently. "You dropped this," she said. Her voice was calm. Too calm. His eyes flicked to the wallet, and then he froze. He saw the photo in her hand. His entire face drained of color. What were you doing with that?" Keisha studied him, watching the arrogance melt away. "It fell out," she replied. "I picked it up. That's all." He snatched the picture from her fingers, but not before she saw the panic in his eyes. Fear of a memory he'd buried. Fear of a truth he prayed no one would ever uncover. "You don't understand," he whispered, voice shaking now. "You have no idea who she was." Keisha didn't look away. "Then tell me," she said. For the first time all night, he wasn't loud. He wasn't powerful. He wasn't untouchable. "She was the only person who ever saw me as human," he said, breath trembling. "And I threw her away. I broke her. I hurt her more than anyone knows." His voice cracked, and in that moment, the balance shifted. The billionaire lowered his head, clutching the photograph like it was the last piece of a life he'd destroyed. His voice trembled, barely audible. "I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. I should have spoken to anyone like that." For the first time since he walked in, the restaurant wasn't staring at Keisha. They were staring at him, a man cracking under the weight of his own past. Keisha didn't respond. She didn't need to. Silence was louder than any word she could have said. He stood up slowly, shoulders sagging. I'm sorry," he said, voice breaking. "To you, and to her memory. I became everything she begged me not to be." Gasps rippled through the room as he turned toward the center of the floor. "I humiliated this woman," he announced shakily. "I disrespected her. I acted out of arrogance and hate." The entire restaurant watched the billionaire unravel in front of them. He looked smaller, older, human. Manager Gerald stepped forward, clearing his throat. "Sir, I think it's best if you leave the premises immediately." The billionaire nodded, unable to argue. He placed a final look on Keisha, not angry, not proud, but broken. "I hope someday you won't remember me for tonight," he whispered. "But I know you will." He walked out slowly, each step heavier than the last, leaving behind the power he once carried like armor. And for the first time that night, Keisha felt the room breathe again. Keisha stepped outside into the cool night air, letting the door swing shut behind her. The city lights flickered across the wet pavement, softening the chaos she'd just walked away from. She exhaled slowly, finally allowing her shoulders to drop. She didn't feel victorious. She didn't feel triumphant. She felt steady, grounded, whole. The photograph, the humiliation, the whispers, none of it could break what years of resilience had built inside her. She thought about the woman in the picture. Whoever she was, she mattered. She held a part of him he could never erase. Keisha wrapped her arms around herself and started walking, heels tapping softly against the sidewalk. Tonight proved something she'd always known but rarely felt seen for. Dignity is louder than cruelty. Silence is stronger than shouting. And truth, even a small one, can shake the strongest ego to its core. As she reached the corner, she glanced back once, then turned toward home. Another night survived. Another battle won without raising her voice. "If you believe this should never happen again," she whispered to the empty street, "share this now." And to my USA, UK, and Canadian viewers, your voice is power. Use it.